Good morning, everyone. Today's lesson is going to be on irregular verbs. So I want you to take a look at the screen behind me, and we're going to get started with a definition of irregular verbs. And I also want you to get excited because I'm giving you words that are going to make your writing creative and really stand out from all the other opportunities you had to write. So, ready? Let's go. The definition of irregular verbs are verbs that do not form the past and particle by adding ed. So what that is saying is we're not adding ed to these verbs. Instead, irregular verbs form the present particle by adding ing. Irregular verbs may change vowels, consonants, both vowels and consonants, or they may stay the same. That's a very technical definition. So let's work through it so that we can understand it, and let's see how the process goes. So the present verb is run, present particle is running, past is ran, past particle is run. That's the first example. Let's move on. Irregular verbs can be sorted into groups by pattern, but the patterns don't help you remember the forms. For the most part, these need to be memorized. Most people memorize them simply by hearing them, reading them, or being corrected. The patterns are present, past, and past particle are the same. Put. Past and past particle are the same. Catch, caught, and caught. Past plus n or en forms past particle freeze, froze, and frozen. Present plus the n, the en, the ne forms past particle do, did, and done. The final vowel changes from I in present to a in past to u in past particle. Begin, began, and begun. Again, a little challenging. It's kind of strange at first, but all of these words you've used before, you're just not realizing that you're using irregular verbs. So we're going to practice and just memorize and get used to using irregular verbs when we do some creative writing. Let's continue on. So here we're going to try it out. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to do a couple of these, and then I'm going to share with you the website. You're going to log on with your iPad, and you're going to practice the rest of them on your own. We'll see how you do. So, to seek. Present is seek. Present particle is seeking. Past is sought. Past particle is sought. So these two stayed the same. This one added the ing. Let's do one more for swing. For swing, we have swing as the present, swinging as present particle, swung as past, and swung as past particle. When you have swing as the present, I'm going to jump on the swing, or I will swing with my friend, actually, is the appropriate way to use that. Present particle, what are you doing now? Remember, verbs are action words. So if your mom says, Katie, what are you doing? You would respond, I'm swinging with my friend Katie or Ellie. That's how that is used in a sentence. Past is swung, meaning it already happened. So if your mom says, hey, what did you do yesterday at recess? You would say, I swung with my friend Allie. So those are some examples. A little challenging, but as you practice and memorize, you'll get better at it. So let's move on to the worksheet that we're going to work on. And everyone should have this worksheet, irregular verbs. There we go. And that should be right in front of you. And I'm going to go over this in just a second. There we go. You'll see this right behind me. It's on my screen. And you also have it in front of you. So, irregular verbs. Not all verbs end in ed. So we talked about that. You may be used to that. You may be, as soon as you hear about a verb being past tense, right away you want to put an ed on there. But what we're talking about today is irregular verbs that do not end in ed. Do not. So, regular verbs are listed here. The present tense of verbs and the past tense. A little simpler than the last page that we were working on. So, present tense, brush. Past tense, brushed. This is what you normally see, what you would normally put an ed at the end of something to make it a past tense verb. Climb, climbed. Wash, washed. Play, played. Finish, finished. Past tense, regular verbs. Okay, so now we're going to go over our irregular verbs, and I will offer them in a sentence so that you will be able to hear them and how they're being used, and then you're going to move on to practicing individually, and I will be in the back there to help you out. So let's get started. Irregular verbs. The present tense is fly. Past tense is flew. The bird flew across my screen. Notice how there is not an ed at the end of this word. We are not using ed for an irregular verb. Present tense is eat. Past tense is ate. I ate the pizza yesterday. So if someone's asking you, where did all the pizza go? Your answer is, I ate the pizza already. So you're already using these words. You just probably didn't realize that that's the way they're spelt, and they don't have an ed at the end of them, so that when you put them into your creative writing assignment, I don't want to see ed at the irregular verbs. I would want to see the way you correctly say them and write them. Here we go again. Build. Past tense of build is built. I built a house on a hill. Next word, catch. Past tense is caught. Many of you use this. I caught the ball in the middle of this intense game. So you've used it before, but sometimes it's not always being spelt the right way. Last one, give. Past tense, gave. I gave a present to my mom on Mother's Day. Thank you. So, moving on. Let's go down to the worksheet where we are going to be able to go over what you're going to do, what the process is going to look like back at your seats. Again, you have this form in front of you, and this is your opportunity to practice. Remember, my friends, you are not going to get all the answers correct because this is the first time we went over it. This is the first time you're hearing about irregular verbs not having ed, verbs not having ed and being irregular. It's a little step above just learning about verbs. So I want you to be able to use these words in a creative writing lesson. So that's why we're practicing them today. Again, let's go over number one. Sweep. Tom swept or Tom swept the floor. Okay, I'm looking for you to please circle that one. Which one sounds like the best one to circle? And remember the rules for regular past tense or irregular past tense. And if you're forgetting, I do believe that it's at the top of your page. There's a rule. We are not using, what is it, class? ED. So if it has an ED, I'm not circling that one. Okay, number 2, clean. She cleaned her room, or she cleaned her room. Oops. I'm sorry, class. I had you actually circling the irregular, but actually what you're supposed to circle, the correct past tense for each verb. And is it going to be regular or irregular? My mistake. Okay. Circle the one you feel sounds the best in the sentence. Let's do it that way. She cleaned her room, or she cleaned her room. Go ahead, take a minute, circle that. Okay, moving on. Number 3, fall. The little boy falled down, or the little boy fell down. Which one makes more sense to your hearing? Which one do you feel would be the best one to use? Go ahead and circle that. Good job. I like the way everybody's focusing, paying attention on our lesson. Moving on, number 4, jump. My cat jumped over the fence, or my cat jumped. They sound really close, right? They're really close. But remember our rules to regular or irregular verbs. Go ahead and circle the one you think is the best. Number 5, drive. Mom drove us to the store, or Mom drove us to the store? Which one is the one that sounds the best to you? Mom drove us to the store, Mom drived us to the store. Okay, moving on to number 6. She parked the car on the street, or she parked? Take a look at that spelling right there. Does that seem like something, does that seem right to you? Does that seem like the way we would spell that? Parked. Sound very similar when we say it. Number 7 is hike. We hiked in the woods, or we hike in the woods. Again, something is spelled a little differently. Not sure if that's the right one, but we are practicing. I want you to do your best. Choose the best answer, please. And I'm going to move the screen up. Here we go. Looks like everybody's ready to go. And number 8. I feeded the dog, or I fed the dog. Again, choosing the best one. Your mom asked you if you fed the dog. What would your response be? I feeded the dog, or I fed the dog? Okay, class. Number 9. So we're going to do 10 together, and I'm going to let you go ahead and do 11, 12, 13, and 14 on your own. You're going to read it. You're going to say it out loud. Listen to the way it sounds, and get used to using the words and saying it yourself. Number 10. He dived into the swimming pool, or he dove into the swimming pool. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So, choose the best. I may have skipped number 9. Let's go back. The baby began to cry, or the baby began to cry. I apologize, I skipped number 9. So we'll go back to that. the baby began to cry or the baby began to cry. Okay. And I read number 10. And again, 11 to 14, you're going to read it out loud, listen to it, take a look at the spelling, and determine which one is the best one. I do have the answers. We'll be going over the answers after everyone has had some time to finish this on their own. I'm thinking it should take you about the next, we'll give you 10 minutes so you can say it more than once. I want you to read the sentence 2-3 times, just like I did. Raise your hand if you need help. I'm circulating in the back of the room. I'll come by, help you read a word if it's something you don't know how to read. And if you have any questions, raise your hand. I'll be back there. And I think that's it. Thank you for watching my lesson, and make sure you practice, 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 and memorize. Thank you. Bye-bye.